Hello, Seth. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join me for this interview. You're actually the first person from the Stocks campus that I'm interviewing, so looking forward to see how this goes. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Great, thank you. The reason I've invited you on for an interview is because I saw in the Wins channel you posted a win where you started off with $500 and you traded that to $6,800. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is something I would like to go into a bit later on in the interview. But for now, what was your life like before joining the real world?
It was lost. There wasn't really a path. I actually joined the real world while I was on deployment, and it was looking really glim and dark. I didn't really have anything to come home to. It was just kind of the regular day-to-day job, 9 to 5. And then I saw Tate on Twitter and TikTok and all that during his internet takeover, and I joined the same day. There was no second thoughts, and I haven't looked back. It's every day I'm learning something new. Every day there I can look back and say I did better than I did yesterday, and that is all due to the real world. The first day you get in there, it was just immediate information, and you had to take action on the first day. There was no other choice. And every day it's a call to action, and if you want it, you'll succeed. I mean, there is no way you won't succeed in the real world.
So, from your perspective, you've just joined, you're saying you see an overload of information, maybe not overload, just a lot of information. What made you choose the stocks campus to go into, or did you try something else before that?
So my father was actually a stockbroker way back in the day, and now he's a financial advisor. And so I grew up listening to CNBC in the background versus Saturday morning cartoons. I didn't get that luxury, so I always had that type of background, and I've always been quite good at math. So numbers were very familiar to me, and I didn't want to be a crypto dork, so I didn't do crypto, and I went to stocks because it was known. Um, and then going through it was immediate. Just I felt drawn to it. Like it was really hard to fight that or to do copywriting or anything. I just didn't feel anything towards it. I actually felt drawn towards the stocks campus, and immediately going through the videos that Professor Harush has put out and all this other stuff, it was just perfect. Like it was everything I could ask for. And then we have the training mindset. It covered all my bases. It covered money, numbers, logic and analytical thinking. It covered life lessons, physical fitness. Like you can't get more.
How different is the material at the stocks campus compared to what you could find online?
So when you're going through, you're actually being taught by a millionaire professor who's made this work and done it for his living, doing options. And to sit there and say, "Oh, I can get this anywhere," is just it doesn't make any sense because I don't have direct contact with a millionaire who has done this for a living. You can't ask him questions every single day. You can't sit there and get his watch list and get what he trades. You can't do that online, just anywhere else. It doesn't happen. Um, and then he also we actually just recently started the trading mindset and psychology course. He actually talks about your mental thoughts, why you think when you're trading, what you do while you're trading, how you actually do things in an everyday basis to affect your trading. You can't get that online.
When you first started out, were you following the professor's trades, or did you go straight into just doing it yourself?
So when I first started out, I was following Professor Trades to learn. He would sit there, and while he would take a trade, we were looking at the charts, and I was directly asking him questions on his trade. Why did you take this trade? What does this trade do? Why did you take this versus that? And I got direct answers from him on his trades, and I was able to educatedly take a trade based off of research that I've done and research that he's done and answers that we talked about back and forth.
And I'm sure the listeners are interested. What kind of gain did you make just by following the professor?
So when I first started out following the Professor's trade, I grew my account from 2,000 to 10,000.
Well, nice.
And that was not 100% his trades, but it was 85% his trades.
Okay. And then after that, you decided to transition into trading just solo by yourself.
Yes. So I following that little 210K, that was the first goal. That's the first pillar that I wanted to reach. During that time, I pulled out those funds and I made a self challenge. And I started from $500. And in 3 weeks, I grew that $500 from 6,800 to $6,800.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all my own trades, as well as still asking professor questions, still doing all these things, still trying to help out as much as I can, answering other people's questions that have just started. And that's the thing is you know the knowledge when you can teach it. If you can teach something, that means you truly know it. And that was a big thing for me. I grew up, within the military as well as sports. So it was a big thing for me to sit here and say, okay, if I can tell this guy how to do it, then that means I truly know what I'm doing. And that's kind of a self test for me. When I started to get there, that's when I was like, okay, it's time.